with 50,000 watts. This is the North Texas Powerhouse. 1480 KBXD, Dallas.
And it's just about 3 o'clock. Danny Adams here with you on this Saturday afternoon for Southern Gospel Texas Style. We're going to be doing an interview this hour with Mr. Buck Helton from Dallas, Texas. He does a lot of cowboy gospel type songs, and I'm going to let you hear one of them before we talk to him. This is Approaching Hoofbeats.
While riding out one day near the head of Dead Man's Draw, my pony spooked and reared his head. I wondered what he saw, and then I figured out it weren't no sight what made him shy, for I heard approaching hoofbeats of 4 horsemen in the sky. The first one came a-riding out to conquer all the land, a crown upon his head and a bull in his right hand. The nations fell before him, from the greatest to the least. I knew this evil horseman was the one they called the Beast. Then came another horseman on a mount as red as fire. To see no peace existing was his rider's one desire. He was bloodthirsty and evil, and he held a mighty sword. His only joy was conflict, his rider's name was War. Then a horse came lean and hungry and blacker than the night. Starvation followed close behind, it was an awesome sight. It brought an aching hunger that no feed could ever tame. His rider gaunt and wasted, famine was his name. Then came another horseman, he was different from the rest. His mouth was pale and sickly, my heart froze within my chest. He turned to look upon me, and I couldn't draw my breath, as I stared into the hollow eyes of the rider named of Death. I thought I was a goner, but I heard a mighty shout a-coming from behind me, so I turned to look around. I saw Jesus on a great white horse lighting up the sky. The riders fled before him, I came to, they rode by. I knew I'd seen a vision of the things that lie ahead. And if you're wise, you'll take to heart these things that I have said. Make sure you ride with Jesus, don't wait another day. I still hear approaching hoofbeats and they're headed this way.
All right, that's Mr. Buck Helton, and that's called Approaching Hoofbeats. And we got Mr. Buck Helton right here in the studio now, and we're going to be talking to him live, interviewing him, talking about some of the things that he does. And Buck, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm fair to middling. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good if I can find the right microphone here. There we go.
Tasting 1, 2, 3.
I got to change the numbers on those. Anyway, Mr. Buck Helton, he does cowboy gospel type songs, and that's what we're here to interview him about. And tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get started?
Well, I was born at a very early age in a log cabin I built with my own 2 hands. No, I come from a musical family. My mom and aunt and uncle were regulars on the Big D Jamboree. And Mom also used to sing with Nora Wilson's group out in Vegas, and was also for the girl singer for the Jan Garber Orchestra when they played there.
Okay.
And my maternal grandmother and great aunts and uncles used to sing on the radio in California back in the 30s, and used to hang around with a group called the Pioneer Trio.
Okay.
Bob Nolan, Tim Spencer, and some guy from Ohio named Leonard Sly.
All right.
He got a lot more attention after he changed his name to Roy Rogers.
Oh, okay. Well, I should have caught on to that. I don't go back that far, so.
Well, that's the advantage of being born at a very early age. You can wind up being much older than you really are, and you remember all that stuff.
I remember watching them on TV, but I don't know that much about who they were and their real names and stuff like that. So,
well, the only one of the bunch that actually changed his was Roy. Everybody else went by their regular names.
Okay.
Okay. But anyway, I grew up, I was literally singing before I could talk. Made professional debut at the age of 5 over at North Park Mall. Started on Romper Room the following year doing TV and never shut up.
You weren't the Magic Mirror, were you?
No, I wasn't the Magic Mirror, but although... if anyone was around back in those days, and we're talking about 7-second delay, well, they didn't have that back then. And shameless plug, if you want to buy my brand new award-winning book, Tales from the B.O. Ranch, you can find a very interesting story about a misadventure with the 7-second delay on Romper Room.
Okay.
And no, that wasn't the day when Bill Bragg's hair caught fire.
Well, we'll talk about your book coming up pretty soon here, but what got you interested in doing cowboy type songs?
Well, I grew up listening to the Sons of the Pioneers and Gene Autry,
right? Yeah,
and Rex Allen, Tex Ritter, all of these guys, watching the old reruns on Channel 11 and Channel 39.
Right.
And it's always been a part of what I was doing. Mm-hmm. When I was coming back from a show in Maynardsville, Tennessee, which is just outside the great thriving metropolis of Gatlinburg, back in 1997, the Lord spoke to me and said, I want you to concentrate on Western music from now on. And I put out my first CD, Cattle on 1,000 Hills, 2 years later. And now, about 15 years down the road, things have been blessed beyond any possibility of coincidence.
Okay. Any more? I was ready for you to keep going with that.
Well, yes, I've gotten to do a bunch of really neat things. I've gotten to play from one end of the country to the other.
Yeah.
Literally, the furthest east I've played is Plymouth, Massachusetts, and about this time last year, I was out in Reno, Nevada, playing with Lacey J. Dalton. And also coming up here pretty quick, I think you've got one queued up. I've been very blessed to do quite a few things in Nashville. Mm-hmm. George Hamilton IV is a friend of mine. Uh-huh. So you remember him from things like A Rose and a Baby Ruth, Break My Mind, Abilene, yeah. all of those great ones. Well, he and I were doing a festival a couple of years ago, mm-hmm. and it was one of those providential things because I hadn't intended to sing it. I was going to get up on the Sunday Gospel show and do Life's Railway to Heaven. Uh-huh. Well, the fellow that was up first did Life's Railway, so then I thought, we'll do Power in the Blood, and the next one got up and did that one. And finally, I was like the fourth one down, and finally, after the third one did the song that I had picked, it's like, all right, by God, I'll do one of mine. I know no one's going to do this one. Well, I had taken the old Harlan Howard song, Heartaches by the Number.
Yes.
Ray Price did such a wonderful job on. And, Ray, if you're listening today, make sure Virgie feeds you more milkshakes. We need you to gain weight and get healthy again.
Yeah, he lives right here in Dallas, so he may be listening.
And, we're so glad that you're doing better and you're on the mend. Well, anyway, I had taken that and decomposed it and turned it into a gospel song called "Heartaches No Longer."
Yeah.
And George got a liking to it and asked could he record it, and it came out this last January on his album "In a Texas Cowboy Church."
Okay.
And I was in Nashville last July.
Okay.
Doing some things, and we got a recording of it on the Ernest Tubb Midnight Jamboree. Mm-hmm. And what you hear behind me is about 3/4 of the house band of the Grand Ole Opry.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's give a listen to that right now. Here's Heartaches No Longer.
I got heartaches no longer and troubles no more. Well, Jesus took my sin away, now I'm free forevermore. Well, I've got heartaches no longer, and soon he'll come again on the clouds of glory to take us home with him. Well, heartache number one was before I met you. I was living in this world bound by sin. With open arms and eyes of love, he knocked on my heart's door. He rescued me and now I'm born again. I've got heartaches no longer and troubles no more. Jesus took my sin away, now I'm free forevermore. I've got heartaches no longer, and soon he'll come again on the clouds of glory to take us home with him. Take her out there, boys.
Mr. Buck Helton.
Sometimes these buttons don't work too well. Trying to push the button to get me on the air, and it wasn't doing anything. Okay. Anyway, that's Mr. Buck Helton, and he doing that song called Heartaches No Longer, and he's in the studio here with us. We're interviewing him, talking to him about a lot of great things, and you wrote that song, right?
Yes, I decomposed the lyrics, turned it into gospel music, and I've done that with quite a few things. That just happens to have had the most success.
Okay.
To date.
Okay. So, have you write a lot of songs, or?
I'd say write quite a bit, both songs and poetry, as well as humorous essays and things like that. People that see my profile picture on Facebook and some of these other places, they ask, how come that hat is so blame big? Because it has to hold so much.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. It looks like a 30-gallon hat instead of a 10-gallon hat, but It's a big one.
No, actually, it qualifies as the next size up.
Okay.
Or as our dear friends from south of the border would say, it's not simply big, it's big.
Okay. Incidentally, while we're talking about that, how did you get the title The Big Man?
Well, you and I were talking a little while ago about a mutual friend of ours, Bill White.
Right.
Okay. Well, Bill used to run the show on KTLR.
Okay.
Had the board shift immediately before mine out in Terrell.
Okay.
When I was DJing out there, and whenever he would see me coming in that front door, he'd say, "Oh, here comes Buck the Big Man. Time for me to slide out of here."
Okay.
And it stuck.
Well, that's good. Yeah. It's kind of like your booking agent here. She told me about a nickname that she got. I'm not going to bring that up.
I did get one.
Yeah, we might get on that pretty soon. He's got his booking agent here, and we'll just talk to her a little bit about booking him later on. But let's see, you want to talk about your Facebook site?
Yes, I do. Shout out to my friends listening via the internet today. Most of whom found out about it as a result of one of the posts on Facebook.
Okay.
Most commonly from the Cowboy Music and Poetry group.
Okay.
For those of you that are listening, if you're a fan of this type of entertainment, cowboy music, cowboy poetry, cowboy stories, we would love for you to come join the group. It's on Facebook. It is the largest Western entertainment group online in the world. Mm-hmm. I started it on Yahoo 13 years ago, and it's migrated over to Facebook. And we've got, I think between the two sites, just under 800 members right now.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like everybody's on Facebook nowadays.
It do indeed. And by the way, it's real easy to find. The name of the group is, coincidentally, Cowboy Music and Poetry.
Okay.
And also, if you're there, if you'd like to send me a friend request, we'd love to hear from you.
Okay. Now, speaking of poetry, you do a lot of poetry. Have you got something you want to share with the audience here?
Sure, I can do one for you. This is one I did out in Reno with Lacey J. It's called Wild Horses.
Okay.
See him open his stride as he chases the sun, heart and hooves making thunder on the plain. The king of the prairie, a symbol of freedom, wild as the wind that blows through his mane. Of proud Spanish blood, the old world's finest, with Cortez he sailed on the Spanish main, served conquistadors down south of the border, then crossed the wide river to Texas he came. Still called by the Spanish name, El Cimarron, Mustango, or Mustang as he came to be known, friend of the cowboy, also the Indian, sire of the dun and the strawberry roan. Like earthquakes and cyclone, fire and flood, he's one of the West's primal forces. And may God in his mercy from heaven above grant there always shall be wild horses.
That's good. I like that. Okay. There's one thing I was going to ask you about. You do a lot of yodeling in your songs. Probably not the gospel songs, but some of the Western songs that you do. And you're good at it. Okay? But I've heard it. It's really good. You won some awards for your yodeling.
I have indeed. I'm probably the only artist you will ever find who is awarded a medal by a 3-star general for meritorious yodeling.
Oh, okay.
And that's actually not a setup for a joke. Of course, I can't show it to you because this is radio and not television.
Yeah.
But there is a picture of it on my Facebook site if you'd like to see. It's the Strength of Our Nation medallion awarded by 3-star General William J. Caldwell out of Fort Sam Houston in San Antonio.
Okay.
And I've had a lot of people ask me from time to time, because it's getting to be something of a lost art, and they'll want to know how exactly does one go about learning it, and what really is it? Okay. Well, all yodeling is going very rapidly from your normal voice, your chest voice, to falsetto or your head voice, and you're snapping and accentuating the result between the two.
All right. Is that how you would teach somebody to yodel?
And say, well, you actually start them very simple. Once you actually learn how to do the break, which is nothing more than like a Cajun yell, hey, just going back and forth. Once you actually have that transition down, the rest of it is simply building patterns with it.
Okay, all right. Well, let's see. Let's go into another song here. Little Cowboy Church. Did you write that one?
Yes, I did. This is off my Cattle on a Thousand Hills CD, and we'd be tickled pink if you used to be able to go and pick that up. You can get it on Amazon.
Okay, well, let's give it a listen right now.
There's a little cowboy church out on the prairie where many wrangler came to know the Lord. It wasn't much to look at on the outside, but it's where we came to hear God's holy word. When it's springtime down in Texas and the bloom is on the sage, there's bodies growing wild along the rail. It's revival time at Cowboy Church. Get your family and your friends. Hitch up the team and head on down the trail. Brother Jack would ring the bell for Sunday service. Cowboys come riding in for miles around. Sister Kate sits at the old upright piano and plays Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. Sunday morning, there's an all-day singing and dinner hall to crown. A hallelujah, yodel, and keep our harmony. Thrills the hearts of everyone around. At a little cowboy church out on the prairie, where many wrangler came to know the Lord. It wasn't much to look at on the outside, but it's where we came to hear God's holy word. It wasn't much to look at on the outside, but it's where we came to hear God's holy word.
All right, that is Buck Helton, and it's called the Little Cowboy Church. We're doing an interview with him right now in the studio, and we've been doing it since 3 o'clock. I tell you what, it's a really good interview. I like this, Going to ask you about your website. You got a website besides your Facebook site? You got a website?
Oh, yes. The Facebook page are not a website. That's just where I hang out and act silly and perpond on various things equine.
Yeah.
And but my website is someplace you can go. You can get samples of cowboy music, cowboy poetry. You can read the copies of my Golden Nuggets column that I run for the Western Way magazine, the history of various classic cowboy songs. You can view my schedule, see where I'm going to be next, and pictures, videos, many other fascinating things as well. And it's very easy to find. Just set your browser to www.buckthebigman.com.
Okay, that sounds pretty easy. Let's see. There's one thing else I was wanting to ask you about your CDs. You got CDs that you can sell. How does somebody get a hold of that?
I do indeed. You can get a hold of me directly through the website. You can either email me from there or just go to my email address, buckthebigman@yahoo.com. If for some reason you happen to forget that, just type my name into any search engine, and about the first 30 hits that pop up are me.
Okay.
I've had that same email address for 15 years, which on the net is forever.
Okay.
Okay. And also want to let you know, if you're looking for a great time and a great cause, want to let you know about and I believe you've already got this on your page as well.
Yeah.
The eQuest Hooves for Heroes Veterans Benefit and Concert will be Saturday, September 28th. At the Hidden Vale Stables, 3107 Morton Vale Road in Plano. And I will be out there playing from 11 to 11:45.
Okay.
And there's all kinds of other wonderful entertainment there as well. I just happen to be up first.
Right. And want to make it known that this is not a gospel concert. It's mostly country music and stuff like that.
Well, you definitely will hear some gospel, but you will also hear a wide variety of styles. You will hear traditional country, western, bluegrass. You will hear a miniature Elvis impersonator who I think is mistaken Red Bull for nectar. Okay. And also several other wonderful acts. And it is for a wonderful cause, arranging for equine therapy for our wounded warriors.
Yeah, and one of the singers that I play on the show here, Billy Joe Russell, she's going to be out there as well, and she does country and gospel, so that's might be a reason to go out there too. So,
most definitely. And by the way, I do want to hit on one other thing here. I've mentioned a couple of times my book, Tales from the B.O. Ranch. Was just awarded the Will Rogers Silver Medallion for Western Humor for this year. And it was a great deal of fun getting that, and got to tell some of the stories to folks like Barry Corbin, who is our MC out there. And if you've never seen Barry get tickled, you have missed a treat.
Okay.
And real quick, before we go into last song, I'd like to tell you a story out of here that was the one that got him so tickled.
Okay.
I am a member of the Cowboy Church of Ellis County.
All right.
Although because of my crazy touring schedule, I rarely get to go.
Okay.
But for those of you that have never experienced Cowboy Church, it's different. We use the old shape note song books, like the Stamps Baxters did back in the days.
Right.
And instead of passing a plate, there's a couple of old boots back by the back door where you can chunk things in if you go on to. When we baptize folks, we dunk them in a galvanized stock tank.
All right.
And many other differences from what you would consider a regular church.
Right.
Although doctrinally you'd recognize it instantly because it's an outreach of the Baptist General Convention of Texas.
Okay.
Well, a feller from a slick magazine back east, name withheld due to fear of lawsuits, they had decided that he was going to do a photo essay on various cowboy churches across the country. Well, he started back east, and he got to hear the old southern country gospel music, got to see folks dunked in the stock tank and so on. And he noticed one thing that was really weird to him. On the wall by the pastor's office was an old-fashioned rotary phone. It was made out of solid gold.
Okay. Had
a golden sign above it with platinum letters, direct hotline to the throne of God. $10,000 a minute. Well, he asked the pastor about this, and the pastor told him it's exactly what it says. Well, he thought some kind of strange cowboy humor. They're pulling his leg.
Yeah.
So he went on to the next church on his list. Same great music, same stock tank baptism, same phone on the wall by the pastor's office, same answer. Pretty soon that was the first thing he looked for in every church he went to across the country. Finally, he gets down to Texas where Cowboy Church was born. And he winds up in Brother Jones' church out in Muleshoe.
Okay.
And sure enough, when he walks in the front door, first thing he sees is that phone by Brother Jones' office.
Okay.
But the sign's a little bit different. Direct hotline to the throne of God. 25 cents unlimited. Well, now he's got a big curious, and it's just about to eat him alive. And he goes, just says, Brother Jones, I have seen that same phone on every pastor's wall in every cowboy church I've been in across this country. Everywhere else, it's $10,000 a minute. Here you can talk all you want to for a quarter. What gives? Brother Jones just smiled, pats him on the back, and said, Son, you're in Texas now. It's a local call.
Okay. That's pretty good. And you got a lot of stories like that in that book, right?
I'd say quite a few. Most of them are at least somewhat true things that have actually happened to myself and friends and family down through the years, cowboying for a living on the old B.O. Ranch, and also some behind-the-scenes things from the entertainment world as well. Okay.
And they can get that book out.
You can go directly to Amazon and order it there, Tales from the B.O. Ranch, or you can visit my website, and you can either order it direct from the publisher there off its own page, or it has a link that will take you to Amazon, whichever you prefer.
Okay. Well, I guess need to do one more song here, okay?
That's
and I think it's the Old Country Church, and that's a song that most everybody knows.
Yep. Yeah, we learned that from Hank Williams Sr.
Okay. Well, let's play it right now, and then we'll come back and talk to you a little bit before we wrap this up, all right?
There's a place near to me where I'm longing to be, with my friends at the Old Country Church, where with Mother we went and our Sundays are spent with our friends at the Old Country Church. Precious years of memories, oh what joy they bring to me. How I long once more to be with our friends at the Old Country Church. As a small country boy, how my heart filled with joy as I knelt in the Old Country Church. And with Jesus above in His wonderful love, saved my soul at the Old Country Church. Precious years of memory, oh what joy they bring to me. How long once more to be with my friends at the Old Country Church. Today all the people would pray like they did at the Old Country Church. Oh, Jesus would bless if they'd only confess as they did in the Old Country Church. Precious years of memory, oh what joy they bring to me. Once more to be with my friends at the Old Country Church. How long once more to be with my friends at the Old Country Church.
All right, that is Buck Helton, and that's called the Old Country Church. We're interviewing him right now and live in the studio, and we've had a pretty good interview so far. And let's kind of wrap this up and tell everybody where you're going to be singing at.
Well, you can find me several different places. best thing to do is check my schedule page.
Right.
On my website, www.buckthebigman.com, because we're adding new things to it all the time.
Okay.
And if you would like to add something to it as well, you'd need to get a hold of my booking agent, Diana Bowers here, my very own little ray of sunshine. And why don't you tell them how to get a hold of you so they can throw money at both of us?
All right.
Okay, you can reach me by calling 817-681-6976. Again, that's 817-681-6976. Or you can reach me by email. It's dnbmarketing1@gmail.com. Again, that's D as in diamond, N as in next, B as in bank, marketing, 1@gmail.com.
All right. And anything else you want to tell us about before we wrap this up here?
Well, I seriously hope that you have enjoyed this. If you have, feel free to drop me a line, either on Facebook or via email, buckthebigman@yahoo.com.
Okay. And
don't forget to check out, once again, the website, www.buckthebigman.com. And now we will cease to invade your studio, and as the immortal words of Porky Pig did pronounce, that's all, folks.
All right. Well, we've enjoyed having you here, Buck, and been a pleasure to interview you right here on KBXD, and maybe we'll get you back again sometime.
Say, anytime, just give me a yell. I'm just down the road.
All right. Well, let's get back into more music now. Here's the Aikens.